Danny Kadden was the executive director of Interfaith Works from 2010 to 2018. During Danny's time, Interfaith carried on its tradition of providing an anchor for new initiatives, in particular, shelter for people experiencing homelessness.
Stepping forward and providing leadership on homelessness was, clearly looking back on it, the top issue and that took the most time and energy during my time there. And it really reflected the importance of the issue in the wider community. It wasn't just Interfaith Works saying, we are prioritizing this is important to us. We were reflecting, in fact, the social reality on the ground, that this was becoming, if not already there, the number one socioeconomic issue, practical management of a social problem, hour to hour, day to day in our community. We had already been organizing a winter shelter, and it operated in different church settings, which rotated 2-week shifts. We realized that it was the faith communities, their commitment, their public place in the community as longtime anchor institutions in the community as our strong point. So I want to go back to January 2012. There was a huge snowstorm, and I think it was called Snowmageddon. It caused tremendous, shutdown of transportation and really widespread power outages. And it put hundreds of people who lived on the streets or in the woods in great danger because it was a type of snowstorm that caused trees to fall on tent encampments and people who were trying to find shelter from the elements. And literally people came out of the woods dazed, soaking wet, freezing, and needing a warming center, needing shelter then and now. And all the city facilities were closed. It was a weekday, and things were closed. And we immediately noticed that, and we arranged for Temple Bedhat Philo to open, and we literally shoveled a pathway to the door of it was like 2.5 feet of snow or something like that, and opened up Temple Bedhat Philo as a warming center, and people came. And by that night, we realized we needed an overnight. And of course, First Christian Church downtown agreed, and we opened up overnight, and it was chaotic and complex and challenging, but we served, I think, over 100 people there that night. Then we miraculously got the Red Cross involved, which usually doesn't do this kind of sheltering, but because of the extreme conditions and the apparent need, they got a truck over there filled with cots and blankets and all kinds of supplies. And still there was no government response. There was no government facility. There was no city or county facility opened up for warming. And there was no stash of blankets. There was no, the power was lost at First Christian Church. There was no backup generator available in a central location. And we used the opportunity to underscore the gaps in emergency response, the unacceptable gaps. And we spoke very bluntly. We went to the county commissioners, and we went to the Olympia City Council, and we spoke bluntly about the failures and the role of Red Cross, which everyone thought would fill such a gap and which didn't, and the assumption that churches or faith communities were somehow going to step up miraculously. And yes, we did, at great cost and effort, full of heart in the moment. But it's no way to run a community and its social services. And out of that came, I think, a whole series of things that wound up setting up a robust emergency response. And people were emboldened to be honest and lay out the issues and needs, and the elected officials responded. And I was particularly proud of that. It was a very difficult experience, not knowing where it was going, but you need to speak truth. And I think we saw changes because of that.